Hey everyone, Zombie Recon here with a Red Dead 2 Online video, and in this one, I just wanted to share my thoughts on the game as a whole and talk about if RD2 Online is really a dying game. So, in the background, I have some gameplay footage of the squad and I holding down Fort Mercer in Call to Arms mode. So, sit back, enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. I know I've been sharing a lot of Call to Arms videos recently, and that's mostly because of the double XP and gold event going on. But it's also because of the lack of other things that I could do, or even the game allows me to do while I'm playing, I should say. And I'm not saying the game doesn't offer anything, I'm just saying I wish there was a little bit more to do. And don't get me wrong, the story missions were really fun, the role missions in general, they were great. But once I completed them, I kind of felt like the game became very repetitive. You know, most of the stranger missions are the same, just different people selling your table at camp alone. I don't really recommend it. Not for the risk of getting killed by other players or the NPCs, but for the risk of getting killed of boredom. You know, most of the time they make you travel so far to the other side of the map that it feels like you've been doing nothing but tapping X to make the wagon go faster. For hours. And if you're selling moonshine, sometimes it's the same thing. The only difference is you have to drive the wagon even slower, or you'll break the bottles in the back. Now, technically, you don't ever have to do any of these missions if you don't want to, but the higher level you are in any role, the more you unlock, so it is beneficial, but I also just feel like it's a little forced. Like, the only way to do random moonshine encounters is to have that role unlocked, which, sure, makes perfect sense, but other than the story missions, which is not that many, by the way, the moonshiner and the trading role, for that matter, are just boring and lacklusting to me. Sure, the argument could be made, but Zombie, think about the money you could make from selling everything. And to that, I would say, for the amount of time it's going to take you to get from point A to B, I can go out collecting for Madame Nazar, or even get samples for Harriet, and make almost double the amount of money. Now, that doesn't make the collector or the naturalist role the best, but with the limited options the game does give you, and with the things that you can unlock as you progress, I just feel like those roles are a little bit more enjoyable than the other two. Now on to the last option in the game, which is of course the bounty hunter role, and it's my personal favorite. From the missions to the progression rewards, I love it. The legendary bounties alone are super fun and all different. Also, they have great replay value, whether you're riding solo or posseed up. And yeah, sure, the regular bounties can get a little repetitive at times, but even at that, I do think that this role has the most to offer and is the most fun in the entire game. Maybe because it's the most active role in the game I love it so much, and what I mean by that is this really is the only role where you're playing and you're doing something. You know, like you aren't just driving a wagon halfway across the map, bored out of your mind, or mindlessly roaming around for treasures or collecting samples. You're just hunting NPCs and getting paid for it. I mean, what's more fun than that? But look, I know not every game is perfect, and maybe I wouldn't care as much if the game offered just a little more. I mean, we are playing as cowboys here, and we can't even rob a bank, a train, or even the shops where you could purchase items. I mean, isn't that like an old western staple or something? Another old-timey classic that isn't in the game is breaking a posse member out of jail. They already have the ability to get your character in jail, and while you wait, there are things that they allow you to do to, you know, pass the time. So if you are in a posse, they should be able to just break you out of either the jail itself or even a wagon while you're on your way to the sheriff's station. And, you know, maybe being an outlaw isn't your forte. Maybe you're just type of player that, you know, wants to just buy a farm and have a stable that you don't have to pay for, or a spot to rest your head at night that, you know, isn't in the wilderness. I mean, they could have added a carnival type of place, even, you know, we put a freak show in there and little mini games to play. And that could have been a perfect way to throw in a little homage to the Undead Nightmare game, which honestly was awesome. But also, it would give the player some mindless fun while just free roaming around the map, or even a cool setting for a story mission, maybe? I don't know. But look, these are just some quick ideas, but my long-winded point is I feel like there's some really great opportunities being missed that would really add so much to this game. And don't get me wrong, visually, this game is breathtaking. I understand why the map is so vast and open. I mean, the game is set in 1899. There really wasn't much going on back in those days, but I don't know. I still feel like the game is just missing something that would make this game just stand out amongst other games. And yeah, I know Rockstar has a lot on their plate already, especially with games like GTA 6 coming out, and the constant updates for GTA 5. But this game would have a bigger following if they put the same amount of love into the online mode that GTA 5 has gotten. Of course, GTA set in modern times, allowing the developers to put more stuff in the game, whether that be more for the environment or just more for the player to do, but that shouldn't be an excuse for them to just stop putting, anything into Red Dead. As boring as 1899 probably was to live in, I feel like that would just give Rockstar so many more freedoms with Easter eggs and, all the other bizarre things they like to add in their games, especially with the map being so vast. Why save all that fun for just the story mode? Add something, to the online mode. Look, I can keep going on about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of this game, but at the end of the day, it feels like Rockstar just kind of gave up on Red Dead. Does anyone even remember when the last Outlaw Pass was dropped? Anyway, with Rockstar now putting a halt on any project that doesn't involve GTA 6, the future of Red Dead doesn't really feel like it's going to be a bright one. Well, at least for RD2 Online, that is. And granted, I could be completely wrong about all of this, and Rockstar might give RD2 Online one last big update for a, proper send-off, but the cards are stacking more in the unlikely pile. And as much as I hate what I'm about to say, with all the revenue that GTA 5 has brought into Rockstar, it would just make sense for them to follow the money and heavily focus on getting GTA 6 done properly and into people's homes fast. My fear, though, is GTA 6 is going to be this massive game with so much to do that Rockstar doesn't even have to worry about RD2 Online as much. Think about it. If GTA 6 is as good as everyone is thinking it's going to be, then no one is really going to feel the need to go back to Red Dead at all. Maybe that will be a good incentive for them to start working on, Red Dead Redemption 3 instead of giving us remastered games that should have just stayed in the past. But it's highly unlikely with the cash grab society we live in. But that's what wishful thinking is for, I guess. And hopefully I'm wrong about this, and Rockstar is coming out with some massive update that is going to change the way we play Red Dead entirely, but until that happens, the fans of this franchise are just going to put the same amount of love into playing this game as you guys have put into your updates for it. Barely ever. To be honest, if it wasn't for the friends I play this game with, I would have probably gotten rid of it too. Due to the fact that when I do play this game alone, I constantly just rush whatever I'm doing just so I can finish up and play something else. And with the amount of space that this game takes up in my hard drive, I don't really want to feel that way while I play it. I also don't want to shit on this game either. I still do play it at the end of the day. I just wish there was a little bit more that made me want to come back to it, or not be as bored when I play solo. And like I said before, I hope I am wrong, and this game has a solid few years left in it. Who knows? Maybe they are just waiting for after GTA 6 to put any more love into it, but I will also say this, though, that if this game does die, I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest. I hope it doesn't, but it's really not looking too hot for it. But anyway, that's enough from me on this subject. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on RD2 Online, and if you think this game is dying, or maybe it does have a chance of survival. I've been Zombie Rican. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace!